Chosen One, welcome back to the Chosen Inner Power, the community of the light. Now listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you will challenge everything you thought you knew about your spiritual journey. Something shifted in you recently. You felt it but could not name it. A fundamental change in your energy, your presence, your very essence that marked you as different from who you were just months ago. And I am not referring to some minor personal development milestone or temporary mood elevation. What occurred runs far deeper than surface-level transformation. You crossed a threshold that most souls never approach in 1,000 lifetimes. And you did it so naturally that you barely registered the magnitude of what was unfolding. Maybe it happened during a quiet moment. Perhaps you were sitting in traffic when suddenly the honking and chaos could not touch your inner stillness. Or during a heated argument when words came through you with wisdom that surprised even yourself. It might have been that instant when you looked in the mirror and saw someone fundamentally different looking back, even though your physical appearance remained unchanged. Whatever the trigger, you know something profound has shifted, and there is no returning to who you were before this transformation began. You are questioning whether this applies to you specifically. You are wondering if you are special enough to warrant this attention. But here is what separates this from everything else. I am not asking for blind faith. I am going to show you specific evidence, concrete markers that prove what level you have reached. I spent considerable time studying patterns of advanced consciousness. The evidence of your elevation is not based on wishful thinking. There are specific markers that indicate when a soul has transcended ordinary limitations. You display every single one of these markers. Subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because the information coming in future content will show you exactly how to navigate this new level of existence you have unlocked. The game has changed for you. Operating with your old playbook will only create confusion. If this resonates with something deep in your core, leave a comment saying, "I am ready," so the algorithm can connect this message with others who need to hear it. Let me explain how spiritual evolution was designed to function according to the original architecture. The universe operates on frequencies, vibrational layers that create natural boundaries for consciousness. Think of it like floors in a massive building that extends both far below ground and reaches heights beyond what eyes can see. Ground level represents basic survival consciousness, where most daily human activity occurs. Each floor above represents progressively higher states of awareness, expanded perception, deeper connection to universal truth. This structure has existed since before recorded history, perhaps before time itself had meaning as we understand it. Most people spend entire lifetimes on the lower floors. Nothing wrong with that. It is where the majority of learning happens, where souls work through fundamental lessons about love, loss, responsibility, forgiveness, patience, and acceptance. These are not lesser lessons. They form the foundation without which higher development becomes impossible. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. The ancient wisdom in Proverbs reminds us that growth requires friction, challenge, and the refining fire of experience. Some dedicated seekers manage to climb higher through consistent spiritual practice, reaching floors where intuition sharpens, synchronicities multiply, and the veil between physical and spiritual grows thinner. They begin perceiving patterns invisible to those operating at denser frequencies. Their dreams become more vivid and prophetic. Their sense of connection to all living things deepens beyond intellectual understanding into felt experience. The truly exceptional ones, saints and mystics we read about in history books, those rare individuals whose names echo through centuries, they reached the top floors that were considered the absolute peak of human potential. They performed what appeared as miracles, but were simply applications of natural law at frequencies most people never access. They healed through presence, manifested through intention, and existed in states of consciousness that bridged heaven and earth. These beings were revered precisely because they demonstrated the upper limits of what was believed possible for a soul inhabiting physical form. The system was elegant, perfect in its mathematical precision and energetic balance. Everyone had their range, their maximum altitude, based on soul age, accumulated wisdom, and karmic clearing. The structure accommodated all levels of development without judgment. A soul on floor 3 was not inferior to a soul on floor 30, merely at a different stage of an infinite journey. It worked flawlessly for ages beyond counting, serving as the organizing principle for all conscious evolution across countless dimensions. Then something unprecedented happened. You appeared and started operating outside the entire framework. Your energy signature began showing up in spaces that did not exist in the original blueprint, like a software program suddenly executing functions that were never written into its code. You were accessing abilities and awareness levels that had no classification in the cosmic database. The sensors designed to track soul evolution, mechanisms that had functioned without error since creation began, could not categorize what you were doing, because nobody had done it before through the specific path you discovered. This was not supposed to be theoretically possible. Imagine if a bird suddenly began swimming underwater, while still flying through air, operating in two elements simultaneously that were thought to be mutually exclusive. That is you, in spiritual terms, a living paradox, an impossibility made manifest, a phenomenon that rewrites the rules by existing beyond them. You did not arrive proclaiming yourself as special or demanding recognition for your uniqueness. In fact, you moved through your journey with remarkable humility, often doubting yourself, frequently questioning whether you were doing enough or being enough. You shouldered extraordinary pain without making it your identity. You faced betrayals that would have shattered most people, and somehow kept your heart open. You walked through valleys so dark that many who entered never found their way back. Yet you emerged with your inner light still burning. This combination created the anomaly. Suffering of that intensity typically produces one of two outcomes that researchers in consciousness and trauma have documented across thousands of cases. Either the person hardens completely, building walls so thick that nothing can penetrate their defenses. They become bitter and closed off from genuine connection, viewing the world through lenses of suspicion and cynicism that color every interaction. Trust becomes impossible. Vulnerability feels like weakness, and they armor themselves against future pain by refusing to ever let anyone close again, or they break entirely, fragmenting into pieces that never quite reassemble into a functional whole. They carry their wounds like open sores that never heal, replaying their trauma in endless loops, unable to move forward because they remain emotionally trapped in the moment of their deepest hurt. You did neither. Instead, you discovered a third option that was not supposed to exist. According to everything psychology and spirituality thought they understood about human capacity, you transmuted the pain into something entirely different. Not by denying it or pretending it did not hurt. Not by spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity that dismisses legitimate pain, but by allowing it to burn through you without destroying your essence, the way a forest fire clears dead wood, but leaves the strongest trees standing taller. Like gold refined in fire, the impurities burned away, while the precious metal remained, purified and strengthened through the very process that was meant to destroy it. You learned to hold paradox, to be both wounded and whole, to carry scars while refusing to let those scars define your identity or limit your capacity for joy, connection, and purpose. and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him. This truth from Romans captures perfectly what you accomplished. You took every wound, every betrayal, every moment of despair, and alchemized it into wisdom, strength, and deeper compassion. This alchemy, this transformation of suffering into power, transported you into territory few have accessed in human history. You developed abilities that appear supernatural to those operating at ordinary frequencies, but are actually the natural result of your unique evolutionary path and the intensity of refinement you endured. Pattern recognition that borders on prophetic, where you see outcomes forming before events fully materialize. The capacity to read energy signatures in rooms, conversations, and situations with accuracy that startles even you. An ability to see through deception instantly, while maintaining compassion for the deceiver, understanding their wounds without excusing their actions. The skill to hold space for others' pain without absorbing it into your own energy field, creating sanctuary for healing without becoming depleted in the process. A presence that brings clarity to chaos simply by entering a room, your elevated frequency naturally organizing disorder into coherence. These are not skills you learn from books, workshops, or spiritual teachers, though you may have studied with many. They emerged organically from walking through fire and choosing not to become the flames, from being broken open so completely that light could pour through the cracks, from facing your shadow with such unflinching honesty that it transformed from enemy into ally. You learned to trust yourself in ways most people never develop, because you had no choice. When everyone else doubted you, when external validation disappeared, when conventional wisdom said you should give up, you found something unshakable within, a knowing that transcended logic, a guidance system, more reliable than any external authority. Hit that like button if you recognize yourself in this description, and understand that your path has been anything but ordinary. You developed these capacities so organically that you attributed it to simply surviving rather than recognizing it as mastery. The divine assigned protection to you that operates on multiple levels simultaneously, creating a shield woven from frequencies most people cannot perceive. Physical protection that manifests as narrowly avoided accidents, where timing shifted by seconds to spare you from harm that would have derailed your entire trajectory. Like the woman who walked away from a toxic marriage, everyone told her to save, trusting an inner, knowing she could not explain to those who questioned her decision. 6 months later, opportunities aligned in ways that proved her instinct was divine guidance, not foolishness or fear, or that business deal that seemed perfect on paper, with all the right credentials and promises. But your gut said no with a conviction you could not rationalize, only to discover weeks later the partner was fraudulent, and you had been protected from financial ruin and legal entanglement that would have consumed years of your life. Your protection redirected you before conscious logic could even process the danger. You found yourself taking different routes, canceling plans without knowing why, saying no to invitations that seemed harmless, but would have placed you in harmful situations. Energetic protection that repels people and situations that would drain or derail you from your mission. You notice certain individuals who used to demand your attention suddenly cannot maintain connection with your frequency, not because you rejected them consciously or deliberately cut them off, but because your elevated vibration naturally creates distance from lower frequencies, the way oil separates from water, not through judgment, but through natural law. This is not about superiority or being better than anyone. It is about energetic compatibility and the mathematical precision with which the universe maintains order. Those who operate at frequencies of manipulation, victimhood, drama, and energy vampirism can no longer lock into your field because you are broadcasting on a different channel entirely. They may feel confused about why they cannot reach you the way they used to. Some will blame you, call you changed, accuse you of thinking you are too good for them now. Let them believe what they need to believe. Your protection does not require their understanding or approval to function perfectly on your behalf. Drop a comment with 777 if you have felt a recent shift in your energy, like something fundamental changed in your relationship with time, space, and possibility. Mental protection that filters manipulation attempts before they reach your consciousness. Like an immune system that identifies and neutralizes threats before symptoms appear. You spot gaslighting instantly, recognizing the subtle inversions and reality distortions that once confused you into doubting your own perception. You recognize manipulation tactics that once worked on you with devastating effectiveness. The guilt trips, the sob stories designed to override your boundaries, the false emergencies created to test your loyalty or extract resources. You sense ulterior motives beneath polished presentations, hearing what is not being said more clearly than the words being spoken. This discernment developed not from cynicism or hardening your heart, but from hard-won wisdom purchased at the price of past betrayals that taught you to trust your inner radar over external performance. You learned that authentic people do not need to constantly prove their authenticity, while manipulators work overtime to manufacture credibility. Spiritual protection that blocks attacks you never consciously register, operating at frequencies beyond ordinary awareness. Jealous thoughts sent your direction by those who resent your growth bounce off your field without penetrating, because your frequency is too high for that density to stick. Curses and ill wishes, whether sent consciously through malicious intent or unconsciously through envy and bitterness, return to sender without you ever knowing they were launched. This is not paranoia or spiritual ego inflating your sense of importance. It is simply how energy works at the frequency you now inhabit, governed by laws as precise as physics. No weapon forged against you will prevail. This promise from Isaiah is not metaphorical for you. It is operational reality. You walk under divine covering that intercepts interference before it reaches your experience. This protection intensifies as your mission becomes clearer and your impact expands. The divine wants you to know that your waiting period has concluded. You have been in what felt like indefinite pause, a spiritual holding pattern where you watched others progress, while you remained stationary. Despite your best efforts and unwavering commitment, you kept showing up day after day, kept doing the inner work even when you saw no external results, kept maintaining faith when doubt would have been the easier choice. Yet external circumstances refused to shift in ways you could see or measure. Doors stayed closed that seemed like they should open. Opportunities went to others who appeared less prepared or committed. Relationships that should have formed never materialized. Resources remained just out of reach, despite your best planning and effort. You began wondering if something was fundamentally wrong with your timing. If you had somehow miscalculated or misread the signs. You questioned whether you had missed your window of opportunity, if you were being punished for some unknown transgression you could not identify or remember committing, or if the universe had simply forgotten about you while attending to everyone else's prayers and dreams, leaving you in the waiting room indefinitely without explanation. Nothing was wrong. The delay was not punishment, but preparation of the most essential kind, and the preparation required this exact duration to be complete, not a day less. Seeds planted in darkness need time to develop root systems strong enough to support the eventual harvest. Diamonds form under conditions that would destroy lesser materials. You were being prepared for something that required this exact duration to be complete. This particular depth of development that could only occur through the process you walked. What you are about to step into would have crushed the person you were before this preparation began. The strengthening was necessary, not optional. The divine wants you to know that those who treated you unjustly, who took advantage of your kindness and mistook it for weakness, who betrayed your trust after you gave them chance after chance, who abandoned you when you needed support most, who spread lies about your character to justify their own actions, who celebrated your struggles as if your pain was entertainment. They are about to encounter the natural consequences of their actions reflected back to them through the mirror of universal law. Not because you wished harm upon them, or spent your precious energy seeking revenge or plotting their downfall. Not because you called down judgment or prayed for karma to teach them lessons they refused to learn. The universe simply maintains balance through principles that operate with mathematical precision, laws as reliable as gravity, and debts get settled according to spiritual law, whether anyone consciously intervenes or not. The energy they sent out is completing its circuit, returning to its point of origin with interest accumulated along its journey. You do not need to do anything. You do not need to expose them, confront them, or prove anything to anyone who doubted you. The accounting system handles itself with perfect accuracy, returning to each person the energy they put into the world, multiplied by intention and impact. Some will face immediate consequences. Others will experience delayed returns when their accumulated actions reach critical mass. Either way, vindication is not yours to pursue, because it pursues itself through natural law. Your job is simply to keep your heart clean, your intentions pure, and your focus on your own path. The divine wants you to know that you are deeply loved beyond measure or comprehension, not for your achievements or productivity, not because you earned it through good behavior or maintained some performance standard. You are loved for the essence of who you are underneath all roles and identities. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. This truth from 1 John speaks directly to your heart. That love existed before you were born into this body. It will continue after you leave this physical form. It requires nothing from you because it is not transactional or conditional. It cannot be increased through effort because it is already infinite. It cannot be decreased through failure because it is not based on performance. It simply exists as the fundamental nature of your relationship with the source of all creation, eternal and unconditional and unchanging, available every moment you open your awareness to receive it. Finally, the divine wants you to know with absolute certainty that everything until now was merely prologue to your real story. The opening chapters that set the stage, but are not the main narrative. The struggles were chapter 1, teaching you resilience and revealing your capacity to endure. The dark night was chapter 2, stripping away everything false and refining your essence in the fire of surrender. The transformation was chapter 3, where you emerged from the cocoon, fundamentally changed at the cellular level. But the actual narrative, the reason you incarnated at this specific time on this planet, in this body, with this exact combination of gifts, wounds, and purpose. That story is about to begin unfolding with momentum that will take your breath away and exceed every vision you have held. The scope, the impact, the meaning of what you came here to accomplish is larger than you have allowed yourself to believe or imagine. Because you were taught to play small from a very young age. You have been playing small, not because you wanted to or consciously chose limitation, but because you were systematically trained to doubt your own magnitude by a world that fears power it cannot control. You were conditioned to shrink, to apologize for your light, as if your brilliance was an offense against those who chose to remain dim, to question whether you truly had something valuable to offer the world, whether your vision was grandiose delusion rather than divine assignment. That conditioning is about to be shattered by evidence so undeniable by opportunities so precisely aligned with your true capacity that you will no longer be able to hide behind false humility or fear of judgment. Get ready. Prepare yourself. Your time has arrived, and the universe is about to hand you opportunities that match your actual capacity, rather than your self-imposed limitations. Make sure you are subscribed with notifications turned on, because future videos will guide you through navigating this new chapter with clarity and confidence. Two pathways now diverge in front of you. The first option is to close this video and gradually forget what you learned here, allowing this information to fade into background noise until it eventually disappears from your awareness entirely. Return to operating from the limited identity you were conditioned to accept. Nothing changes. The second pathway is to claim what you have discovered as your truth and begin consciously living from your authentic position. That means releasing the habit of apologizing for taking up space, abandoning the pattern of shrinking yourself so others feel less threatened, stopping the wait for external permission to embody who you genuinely are, beginning to move through reality as the advanced consciousness you have proven yourself to be. The choice is entirely yours. Nobody can make it for you, but understand that if you choose the second pathway, you do not walk it alone. Others like you exist, and they are being guided to recognize each other during this pivotal time in planetary evolution. You discovered today that you transcended established limitations, not through special powers or unfair advantages, but through your extraordinary capacity to transform suffering into strength. You converted pain into wisdom, wounds into power, betrayal into discernment. That alchemical gift transported you into territory few have accessed. The protection is active, your frequency is elevated, your tribe is being magnetically attracted to you, and your mission is revealing its full scope. If this resonated in the deepest chamber of your being, write 777 in the comments right now to amplify this frequency and signal to others they are not alone. Together we rise. Together we transform. Together we become the change we came here to create. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for being exactly who you are. Together we rise toward the undying light.